how many picks do the Niners need? They have 9 currently. That's the first question. And how many starters do you think they need to get out of this, like year one starters or heavy contributors?
Okay, well, I think they need a starter at. It depends how you see the safeties. I see the safeties as Jimmy Ward switching to play
I
up
like
on the
that.
line of
I like
scrimmage.
that.
So I think you need a free safety who can cover starter. You need a nickel back to replace K1 unless you're going to move Mosley there. So I don't want to be one deep or have no depth. So I would say you need a nickel back, a free safety, and probably a starting defensive end opposite Nick Bosa, maybe one offensive lineman as far as starters. So maybe a punter if you don't want to have Wishnowsky. So those, you need 5 starters. I got about a dozen positions that I'd like to fill. And I mean, if you're really going to fill every spot on your team, I think there's about a dozen. So right now, and they've been good at finding guys after the draft. So it doesn't have to be 12 draft picks, but I would say you want to have 10 solid draft picks in this upcoming draft.
I agree. I think they need to trade down. I think they need more picks. They're at 61. I would trade down. And I think the most important thing is offensive line this year. I don't know what they're doing. And to me, the main reason things fell apart in 2020 was the offensive line. McGlinchey was bad. Weston Richburg wasn't there. And it was just Trent Williams and 4 guys. The Niners are this close to being Trent Williams and 4 guys. I know Alex Mack is coming back. I still want a center. Someone who could play guard for a year, then maybe replace Alex Mack. It's a complicated offense. The center has a lot to learn. I think an interior offensive lineman is extremely important. And then also, you mentioned edge, you mentioned DB, a deep threat wide receiver. They need to show, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have one because of Jimmy. They're like, what's the point? Well, Trey Lance needs that. That's a great way to show that you're committed to Trey Lance, getting him a deep threat wide receiver that wouldn't be here for Jimmy.
Is Travis Benjamin not enough, or do you need something more?
Definitely not enough. I would like them to draft a wide receiver in round 3. Everyone's saying that this is a historically good wide receiver class. It's maybe there's no Jamar Chase, but it's deep. There could be 12, 13 starter. Get one of those starters. Get some dude who ran a 4.3. How about, what's his name? Calvin Austin III. He ran a 4.3 too. How about that guy?
Yeah, he's tiny. He's tiny. I wouldn't mind if they went and got the kid from North Dakota State, Christian Watson. He ran 4.28 or 4.31 officially or whatever it is. Yeah, they need a vertical threat. They need a vertical threat at wide receiver. I'd like to see another dynamic running back if they don't go for a Barkley in a trade. I'd like to see another, and it's a great draft for that. And they need some edge rushers, and they need a defensive tackle who can rush. And that's a key element. And they need a couple of young players in their secondary who are not just like, special teamers, but actual starters, future starters. So yeah, in 8 or 9, I would say right now they have 9 picks. If they could wind up with 10 to 11 picks, maybe 12, that would be ideal.
Absolutely. And I feel like they need to find a way to get another pick in day 2 or something. Like I don't think they need to necessarily pick at 61, but if they could trade down to 75 and get another pick in day 2, they need a lot of starters. And I don't know how many they're going to get on day 3. So
you can't, here's the thing about day 3 is that, there's a lot of value, but there's always a story there. Like LSU's linebacker, Damone Clark, just had a terrible injury. So he's not going to be, I think it's a foot problem. He's not going to play this year. So you're going to have to redshirt him. So that's the kind of guy that I would take on day 3, man. I mean, just some starting caliber stud linebacker who you're not going to have until late in the year or maybe next year. Go get starting talent any way you can, even if they're hurt, even if you got to be patient and wait a year.
It's interesting you bring up redshirt picks. I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners did that this year. I mean, they're basically punting. The most important thing this year is to get a pick for Jimmy next year. So why wouldn't they get a redshirt guy?
Yeah. There's a couple guys like that in this draft.
Yeah. Absolutely. People who went down their pro days. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Round 1 picks you could get on the beginning of round 4. I think the Niners will do that. Maybe they should.
One of the guys, my favorite guys in the draft they're saying falling down the board is the Iowa center Linderbaum, who's just ridiculous. He's got short arms, and short arms on centers is usually a bad thing, but they're saying he may fall into round 2. I mean, this guy's an all-world type center. I mean, this guy could be a guy that really anchors your O-line going forward.
Yeah. Well, in the next couple of weeks, we'll start doing mock drafts. It's that time, and I know Larry does his homework. Larry was a scout. Larry can go into like the undrafted free agent. So I'm
We
gonna
could
be
do one. We could do one like one of the simulators in the
yeah,
show. Yeah, we'll
absolutely.
just
We could.
we'll just
I'll be
we can
surprised
just
we don't get
debate
it
it.
though. Yes, it'll be fun. So that's it for today. Actually, Cap speaking says Donovan West out of ASU would be great O-line pick, guard, center, third or fourth.
I'll check him out. I haven't
Check him
seen
out.
West.
Everyone, make sure you hold on. It's in the chat box. Subscribe to Larry's YouTube channel. It's in the chat. It's in the description. It's the fastest growing YouTube channel in the Bay. It's got great stuff. It's got Larry.